Greetings Ventures, I'm Lauren Gaming, and I'll be your guild advisor for this video. The game has just been updated, giving us a new paid banner with Eyes and Lily, and a new pickup banner featuring Honor Succession Bell. And we have yet another opportunity for Iris with a new war game. But most importantly, we have a new heroic trial, Midsummer Lovers Rivalry. You can of course access this by going to Quest and then the Event tab. This heroic trial will last until the 21st of August. In this heroic trial, you'll be farming the quest to acquire 1200 flowers to exchange for a single Adventurer Star Bond, used to limit break time limited characters. Note that I would advise not to use this bond on anything below +3, as time limited bonds are hard to come by, and you want to be aiming for +5 characters. As always, there are 3 difficulties for the quest, and you can get Hero Fallen completion rewards from each one. 1 from normal, 2 from hard, and 3 from very hard. That leaves you with 1 extra Hero Fallen after filling your 5 Fallen slots after limit breaking. Remember that you'll need to use your daily challenge orb to unlock the 3 quests for 1 hour. You won't be able to do it again after that hour unless you have extra challenge orbs sitting around. But you should be able to farm everything you need within the 14 days we had to do this trial. That's a maximum of 14 hours of free grinding, and I doubt it'll take that long. You'll be pitted against the cast of the new Summer Amid, Lily, Lafia, and Eyes, which is pretty intimidating since they all synergize well as water characters. But that immediately brings up the obvious notion that to increase your survivability, you want to be wearing frost coats, which you can craft from Rampage materials. You of course want to aim for that 20% water resistance attachment. This will help you tremendously if you're taking too much damage. But now, let's take a look at the resistances and weaknesses of this lovely cast of bikini-clad girls. They all resist fire element attacks by 50%, as expected of the water units, but they have a 50% weakness to physical attacks. Also, they are immune to all ailments. Automatically, your first thought should be to bring out your best physical attackers for this fight. A decently limit broken physical team should wipe the floor with these girls with AoE attacks, and give you S clears in normal and hard with very little difficulty. Very hard difficulty, however, may prove to be a different case. Let's go over their moves. The majority of the time, Amid will simply be casting her AoE heal, Cure Stream Potion, healing the group with what seems to be from a range of 3000 to 5000 HP each. This number is heavily dependent on whether or not you're debuffing her magic in some way. She'll heal less when her magic is lowered. Other than healing, she doesn't do too much to warrant being a main target. Eyes will alternate between using 2 different attacks. She can use Cobalt Edge, a single target water physical attack, and Aqua Blade, an AoE water physical attack. In my opinion, Eyes doesn't do enough damage by herself to warrant building physical resistance against her. A frost coat with water resistance should suffice for her. The one attack that Lily will constantly spam in this fight is Frozen Water, an AoE water magic attack that doesn't really hit that hard. It also debuffs her magic by 50%. But that debuff is not really that big of a deal because you should be using a physical team anyway. The one thing that it will affect, however, is the potency of your healing. So, you might want to bring an HP regen assist to assist with your healing amounts. The main source of damage in this fight and who you should be focusing is Lafia. Starting on turn 2, she will alternate between a cycle of using Aquatic Ray, a single target water magic attack that will buff her magic by 30% for the next turn. On turn 3, she will use Aquatic Lure, an AoE water magic attack that will devastate your party if you're not packing magic resistance or using a magic debuff during the fight. From then on, she will alternate between using the 2 moves. Remember that you can remove this magic buff with a character like Tsubaki. The way this fight goes, if you're having trouble with the damage from Lafia, target her first as the other characters don't do as much damage. Now, let's go over the recommended adventures for this fight. There's way too many good physical attackers at this point, but a few of the highlights are Soccer Princess Eyes, Honor Succession Bell, as well as Summer Princess Eyes and Summer Swim Tiona from the Summer banners. They all have strong physical AoE attacks, and some of them, like Belle and Tiona, can increase their own strength. Now, let's go over some adventures that can help against magic. First off, we have the 4-star Kino from the Kino's Journey collab event, who can reduce enemy strength and magic by 20%. So, not only will you be reducing enemy magic damage, but Eyes' physical attacks as well as a bonus. Owensen Princess Osvi also has a similar skill that only does magic by 20%. If you've seen the top teams from the previous Rivalry Record Buster, you know that Medicinal Archer Naza is the queen of magic encounters. She has a 30% magic debuff skill and a 30% magic resistance skill. If you're aiming to S clear very hard, definitely consider using Naza to reduce Lafia's damage output. Even though she is a magic unit, which is not normally recommended for this fight, Gale Disguise Ryu can debuff enemy strength and magic by 30% if you're still taking too much damage or lacking a magic debuff. Also, if you have Secret Onsen Chigusa, she has a 40% magic resistance skill that will prove very effective in this fight. Remember that same type adventurer buffs do not stack. As for the removal of Lufia's magic buff, you can use Tsubaki or Dancing Blessing Tiona, who also happens to have a magic resistance buff in her arsenal. The new Summer Fun Lily also has a skill that can remove magic buffs, but again, she's a magic unit, normally not recommended for this fight. Now for some healers. As always, Almighty Fighter Osfi I will always recommend, since the 30% damage cut skill is very effective and her heal increases counter rate, giving you extra attacks when you do counter. Fushikaden Chigusa is a worthwhile healer for this fight as well, since you'll be using a physical team, and she provides a 35% strength buff to the party. Temptations Lily from the last summer event is a healer that can also increase your magic resistance. Photo is also a great healer here if you want to pair her up with breastplate armor that increases guard rate. These two, combined in addition to Film Goddess Hestia, will make your characters guard a majority of the attacks. But if you don't have access to Photo as a healer, you can just stick to using Frost Coats for consistent damage reduction rather than relying on guard chance. Now, let's move on to recommended assist. As always, with physical teams, T or part-time Hestia will increase your party's strength. Detective Anya or Legendary Artisan Hephaestus will decrease enemy physical resistance, meaning you'll hit your opponents harder with your physical attacks. Defense-wise, you'll be looking at using Onsen Samurai Mikoto or Summer Mischief Seer to lower enemy magic. You can use Banquet Dress Loki for magic resistance. You can also use Pure White Dress Seer for endurance, which will also help lower the damage from the physical attacking eyes. And don't forget, if you aren't healing enough of the damage every turn, you can use Naza, Miak, 4-star assist Amid, and Bunny Goddess Hestia for HP regen. Making your teens from these recommended characters should give you an easier time as you try to S-clear the fights, especially very hard. When you do S-clear the fights and collect your Eris rewards from doing so, you can go back to simply auto-battling the difficulty that your team can manage. Remember that when auto-battling, your team will not select debuffs or buff skills, so you may need to go back to hard or normal difficulty depending on the strength of your team. Don't worry about this however, since with the way the flower drops work, you'll be getting the same amount of flowers per stamina spent. So, get to grinding those 1200 flowers and get yourself an Adventurer Star Bond. Teach these girls that you don't play no games when it comes to having fun in the sun. If you found this video helpful or informative, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. To stay updated on what I'm doing, follow me on Twitter and join my Discord for any questions and discussion. Continue enjoying your time adventuring in Aurario and the dungeon. This is Lauren Gaming and I'm signing out.